Alrighty, folks, we're back. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Just to make sure it's displayed properly. Welcome back, everybody.
Headphones.
Yes.
Headphones, okay.
I have headphones. I had unlike last week where I forgot for first bit. I have headphones this time. Yes, welcome back, everybody. We're back doing more Dark Tide. So yes, starting at the beginning. Starting with Mr. Eden. And to celebrate Donald Duck Day. Who's your favorite Disney character?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, well, I was gonna do where do you dress first, but I thought that's just too weird a question. So yeah, what's your favorite Disney character?
Well, first, hello, Eden. Playing Wraith, Mage, Mortician, all that stuff. And favourite Disney character? That's really broad at this point. Because, like, have you put in Marvel under that umbrella on that basis?
If you want to do on it.
Because that makes it easier for me. I'll just be like, I always like Bishop from the X-Men. It's a bit of an obscure one, but something about the time travelling, I would like that. Yeah, that'll be my pick.
Alright. Well, next we have Amy.
Hello, I'm Amy. I play Ruth Yosef, our very grumpy Dalish elf healer. This is hard. There are so many. So, on terms of like animation, it would be Megara from Hercules, because she's funny. In terms of like Marvel, Wong. I love Wong. Wong is hilarious, and he's just very sweet and lovely.
I was very surprised you didn't go Deadpool.
I do like Deadpool, but Deadpool's very... Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah. I do like Deadpool, but I'm more happy that the footage was leaked by people that actually adore him and the storylines and stuff, but at the same time it's very... The power has gone to their heads now.
It's just a cryptic thing that my brain's going, I don't understand what's going on, but it's fine, it's not for this point. Anyway, next we have Mr. Tom.
Hello. I'm currently in Garnham. He's a boomstick.
He's a boomstick boy.
He's a boomstick boy. I don't know about favourite Disney characters. I mean, you know, Mickey. I think the Mickey Mouse from The Sorcerer's Apprentice. I think I liked him. Because he's like, oh, just use magic to make things easier. And then it all goes horribly wrong. Which was great. I quite like that.
Fair enough. And finally, we have Bach.
Hey, I'm back. I play Tristan, my Rogue Ranger. And as far as Disney, the original Disney stuff, I think Merida. And as far as Marvel Disney stuff, Wolverine.
Fair enough. Mr. Eden, do you have an animated Disney one as well, since everyone's done a Marvel and animated?
Maybe Woody from Toy Story?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Solid enough pick. Alright, well, what happened last week?
We ran into L'Oreal. Yeah. And his group of men who were assembling defensive walls around L'Oreal's kind of chosen village that he'd taken over.
Defensive being the loose word.
Yes.
Easter time.
We kept him. Well, so we tried to think of order of events, because we got there and figured out what was going on.
Yeah, there was a shakedown of all the gold in the village for
They melted it all down and then were painting a cart with it. Somehow.
Yeah. Basically, for political asylum or something like that. And they'd get political, like, immunity from everything going on. Though it wasn't really well what immunity it brought wasn't really explained to these poor people, which would have been none.
Yeah, they were pretty
Um,
convinced that somehow there was going to be a diplomatic outcome to the dark
Yeah.
coming at them,
Yeah.
which is very foolish.
Yeah. So
It's the classic. Sorry.
there you go.
It's the classic. You know, how do you does the world survive against military? Against zombies that the military is fighting. Well, the tactics that the military uses are almost exclusively for use against other people. So concepts such as suppressing fire, utterly useless. The concept of indirect fire, suddenly much more useful. Well, it was already pretty useful to begin with, but it's much more useful. Intimidation tactics, absolutely out of the question. No zombie is going to be intimidated by any human with a gun or otherwise. You know, it's you just need a whole different outlook because you are fighting mindless, swarm, not, actual people who can be reasoned with, who can surrender, who, will duck when you shoot at them.
Yeah. The horde of Darkspawn is not something to be negotiated with.
It doesn't care at all.
No.
You just need to approach it completely differently.
Yeah. And we understood this, but the people of the village didn't. So,
They did not.
no. And,
I guess
through
villagers,
stealth.
not exactly, military tacticians with
No.
game experience.
So we decided through stealth to poison L'Oreal and then swiftly leave. Though we had to have we had to have papers, I think it was, or a seal or something, and through Wraith's lawyer skills, we were able to get out of the village. And just before we left, we destroyed the Jenga-like wall construction that they were building, which was terrible, and also being painted with gold terribly. So hopefully the villagers that were still there have left.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Alrighty.
And then
Are you telling dear Tom how you poisoned L'Oreal?
with Darkspawn blood.
That wasn't the bit I was trying to think, but okay. That's
I don't remember exactly what we did to them.
I think we poisoned their wine, did we not?
you poisoned
Pretty
his
sure we
cod
poisoned.
piece.
Oh yes, his cod piece, yeah.
Well, on the plus side, at least the poison has little chance of getting onto anyone else.
I mean, in our
Say
defense,
little.
that was Juniper's idea.
Oh dear.
That was Juniper's idea.
I love that. It's very easy to blame someone when they're not here. Yeah, that's just
I mean, they'd admit it. They would
yeah,
admit
they would.
it.
Alright. Okay. Well,
And then we went to Montford and
you killed some undead and tried to get them to follow you.
yes, we killed some Darkspawn and tried to get them to follow us towards where the Tivine and the Quinari were meeting up.
Alright, so we will continue from there. So you, after your small interaction with the Darkspawn, when you see the sort of scouts running backwards, you sort of wind your way back along the road. You take a couple of days just to make sure the Darkspawn know to follow you where you're going. And eventually, after about 2 or 3 days of sort of looking around, you see a quite large Darkspawn force beginning to make their way towards you. So you basically just book it back up the road. And as you approach L'Orealville, which was the former Ghislaine, You notice that the walls have been very shoddily put back up with boards. The gold paint has been sloppily thrown on to the fact that it's almost dazzling and not in a good way to anyone that sees it. And as you ride close, you're immediately stopped by two guards that go, diplomats only.
Gonna hold up the arm. Grey Warden business. It's always diplomatic with us.
Fred, you check the list. And the other guard sort of frantically looks through the list and goes, are you under nobles?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. Let him through.
Yes, we recently passed through here and already had dealings with your lot. Go and tell your boss that we're here.
Oh, well, you'll have to step in line with all the rest of the nobles and the gatherings.
Yeah. Gonna look around at the rest of the group. Do we have time to wait for these idiots?
Is it worth it?
No, they're just going to be cannon fodder at this point.
Okay,
But-
forget about it.
But we don't want to. We want to make sure that the Darkspawn continue to follow us and not branch off elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
So you, after about another 5-10 minutes of sort of very simplistic answering questions, he lets you pass and you go and head into the main part of L'Orealville, which, as you get to the town square, again, everything is sloshed in gold, very sort of untidily painted, as in it looks like it's just been like, a bucket's been dipped in and it's just been hurled over, rather than actually, time to paint anything. You see the massive, the massive tread marks for where the cart has been dragged around the town square. Like the sort of massive, double layered, divots in the ground where this cart's been pulled around because the wheels no longer turn. But as you're in the town square, there's quite a large procession of people, and as you sort of look into the square, you notice that there are a lot of nobles, and including one or two that look quite Tevinter-like. What do you want to do?
What are they kind of getting up to? Are they just talking, gathered around? Like, what's
They're-
going on?
They're talking. They're very much keeping to themselves, but they are talking, talking to themselves, that kind of thing. And as you're looking around, you hear a trumpet sound, and the door of the town hall opens again, and a very croaky voice goes, "Hello, everybody. I'm glad you could all make it. If you'd like to, just bear with me for another few minutes. I'll invite you all in, and we'll have these talks as I planned. Just a few more minutes." And the doors very weirdly just close as very confused-looking guards respond to his sort of vague gestures to shut the doors. At this point, you hear Tevinter go, "Oh, for God's sake! I thought this was a serious thing." What do you wish to do?
Do we care about trying to save these nobles? As a group?
Specifically, I think we're rather more. We've got. It's brutal to say, but we've got bigger problems at the moment. There's enough Darkspawn coming this way for these guys to not even be a blip.
At this point, there's a loud trumpeting noise, and from one of the things walks a single canary, who looks very angry.
I think we should leave.
Yes, that's very prudent. Let's
be a wolf.
try and make our way quietly
be a
out. And out of gaze of that canary.
The canary just walks into town, and he slams his quite large hammer on the ground and sort of stares dead-eyed at the Tevinter. The Tevinter also just stares dead-eyed back. At this point, a little dwarf comes up to you and goes, "Hello there. Could I just make sure I've got who you are, please?" He just looks at all of you and goes, "Which one of you is the noble? Is it you?" Looks at Wraith.
He's a lawyer. We're just gonna get some stuff.
Oh,
before...
he's your okay. Oh god, I didn't bring any bread.
That's fine. We have some in the cart. We're fetching it for him now. Before he gets
Don't worry.
upset.
Well, is your master on this list? And he just hands you a list of names.
Just go through and oh yeah, here we go. And just take a random one, hand it back to him. We really must be getting the bread before he gets angry.
So you're Lord Howe?
No. I'm not Lord Howell. Lord Howell is in the assembly room right now.
Oh.
We're...
I thought that gentleman over there was Lord Howe, and he points to a very thin gentleman who's sitting on a horseback who looks very disinterested in the rest of the world. I thought that was Lord Howe. Oh, we must have a problem.
No, you're quite right. That is Lord Howe. But this is his lawyer, and we are accompanying his lawyer out of the assembly room to get some bread, so that he will not be upset while he takes note of the particulars of this matter.
Oh, okay.
We won't be gone long. We'll be right back.
Oh,
I sort of rush past him and start heading towards the door.
Okay. You brush past him as you hear him walk over to the carrier going, "Hi, sir. Can I ask your name?" The canary is just staring at him.
Speed up.
Double step out.
Yep, let's get out of here. We gotta go right now.
Yeah, I agree.
As you walk up, the doors open one more time, and he goes, "Everyone, okay, the banquet hall is finally ready. All of you come in. We'll sort this fiasco out and resolve things peacefully." And as all the nobles begin to sort of make their way inside, Crown Prince L'Oreal just goes, "Right. Servants, I want you to bar the doors. Do not let us out until we have made a peaceful agreement. And the only way you'll know is if I come forth and say, 'Open the gates.' Anything else, you've not to open the door, no matter what you's here. All right?" "All right." "Good. Now close the doors. To business, gentlemen." And as the doors swing shut, and the guards nervously look at you as you're standing in this quite very, very badly painted courtyard, what do you want to do?
Well, they never said anything about, I'm going to sort of talk out loud, theatrically loud, you know. Well, they never said about not letting him back in, so we'll just get the bread, grab the spare scrolls, and then I'm sure they'll let you in, and I pat Wraith on the back.
Yes.
Mr. Lawyer, sir.
Just give us some time, and I'll gesture off to the dwarf. Moments, please. We'll be back.
Come on, let's hurry up, and let's sort of like half walk, half run, so that we can get the hell out of here.
A little bit of a spring in the step that's awkward in that way. Where it's
that awkward way when you're trying to hurry, but you don't want to do an outright sprint, you know, you're like, oh, well, you know, someone's holding the door for you, and you're like, you know, half walking, half running, because you don't want the door to close. Oh, dear.
That little quick step.
All right. So all these nobles have filed into this hall, and you're just slowly making your way out of the courtyard. There's some guards looking at you quite confused that you've not gone into the hall, but again, they're just sort of shrugging and moving on.
Fair enough.
Are you wanting to just get the hell out of L'Orealville?
I think Ruth's probably spent this time like trying to convince some of the people to actually flee.
Oh, but Crown Prince L'Oreal has got all these nobles turning up. He's going to have a peace talk to them.
Yes, but if those don't work, it is prudent that you all flee to the next village.
He's got them tall folks as well, like him. Points at Wraith. Them tall ones, you know, those sort of nobly fellers. He's got them, and he's got that big canary feller. He must be serious. I mean, I don't think anyone else could have a Kunari and one of them tall fellows in the same room.
Yes, but the Quinari are quite difficult to negotiate with, so they could be they could take a long time, and the danger is quite close. So, just to be safe.
Oh, but we believe in Crown Prince L'Oreal.
Oh no! I'm sure he'll do very well. It just might take a bit longer than he thinks, and just on the safe side, it's best to err on the side of caution.
Oh, so you think it's better to leave then?
I do.
Yeah.
I think so.
But where are we
You
meant
can
to
always
go?
come home later.
Oh, I suppose we could, but where would we go?
Well, we're heading to Perrindale.
Oh, all right. Well,
That's probably the best place to go for now, and I know that there's a lot of well, they'll be needing some good folks like yourselves to help organise the place.
oh, but that's quite a while away, isn't it?
Ah, but it's think of it as a small adventure.
Oh, I don't like adventures. There's
Have a holiday then.
long, horrible, smelly things. No, I don't like that.
Or a holiday then.
A what?
A vacation.
A what?
Time off.
Time off of what?
Of,
I don't
your
understand.
work, yeah.
You know,
Oh no, I work. Oh, I work every day that God sends me. Oh, the Maker sends me. And that's so how I do. I get 1 day off a week, and that's if I'm nice and remember to go to church. Well, remember to go to the temple anyway.
Well, think of these as a few days off.
Oh, I don't know what I'd do with myself.
well, you'd probably spend most of them walking.
Oh, don't like that.
Enjoying the sights, seeing the sights of our dear empire.
The sights? What do you mean the sight? Well, I mean, what is there to see? I mean, one tree's much like another, isn't it?
Well, have you not seen the big lakes that are up there?
Oh, I don't like water.
You don't have to get in the water, you can walk around it.
Well, but it's in the way then, isn't it?
No, that's tranquil.
Oh, I don't like them. Weird bastards.
Oh yes, they're quite strange, but that's a different kind of tranquil.
Oh, well, there's different types of tranquil.
Yes.
How are they different then?
No, my dear friend, it's the tranquility of the soul, not of the mind.
Oh, well, those sound horrible. I don't like the sound of that at all.
Let's just go. Good luck. Hope you catch up soon. And just better safe
If you
than
change
sorry.
your mind, just head in that direction.
Oh, alright, well, I'll keep in mind what you said. I'll speak to my wife and see what she thinks.
Aye, aye.
Alright. And as you, what are you going to do? Are you just heading out of the main road? Are you heading into the fields? What are you doing?
I think we should head towards where we suspect the Darkspawn are coming and set a bunch of fires or otherwise leave signs that lead towards where we want to lead them to. Would they be
Yeah.
attracted towards a big bonfire?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I mean,
I mean, you do know that they're on the road behind you.
Yes. So we head down the road, I don't know, quarter mile, half a mile, light a big bonfire just off the road, and then just keep a trail of bonfires and hope that the smoke and fire is enough to attract them.
I mean, I'm quite tempted to just start a fire in this village. To be fair, hopefully that would.
just thinking now, but then it's kind of like, is it a little bit cruel of us? Are we that murder? I mean, we're asking in spite of
I
what we've
mean-
done already.
Yeah. Or even just outside of the village, and then be like, the Darkspawn are coming. We should move. Everybody
that would
should
make
leave.
sense.
Mhm. It
Yeah,
might
they'll just-
it might trigger some action if we do set a fire under their asses, I suppose.
Literal.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like the village itself. It could be like a little bit away.
Mhm.
What's outside the village? Is there farmlands or anything like outside the village?
Yeah, it's mostly just fields and farmland.
Aburn's really good.
This is true.
Mm.
Is it harvest time or is it fields of stuff right now?
It's coming up for harvest time. These fields are very much full of hay, or full of sort of grasses and stuff.
Does anybody want to play the Doomslayer and be like running into the?
I thought you said Doom Slayer there.
Doomsayer.
You're about to go really hardcore here? Intelligent kill everybody.
No, but like running in and being like, "Oh, but the doom is upon us," kind of. Because Ruth is just like, they're not going to take me seriously. They'll just be like, ah, it's a stupid elf.
I do have enough gunpowder and bits and bobs to mock up some like firecrackers. That could help.
Ooh.
I guess that could be the Doom Sayer. Here.
Cool.
All right, we'll go and set some fires in the field.
Set fire to the fields. All right.
Make
So,
some darkspawn noises.
so what are you using to set fire to the fields?
The usual.
Just
I mean,
fireball.
I've got some.
I've got a fire starter,
fireball.
you know, and a bit of gunpowder.
All right.
Yeah, I've got some. Ruth can light some fires.
Okay.
Start shouting and
Roll
making
for
noises.
roll for starting fire, really. Then.
Okay. We'll find our spaces. Dot roll, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Well, that is a 7. And on
So
par.
the two of
for
you
me.
throw some fire into the thing. Nothing seems to happen.
Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, honestly, wizards, eh?
Anyone have a torch?
I'm
I think the fireballs failed me again. Sorry.
gonna go and grab whatever dry material I can and set some tinder going, and then be like, go find a couple of slightly bigger sticks, and
I'm just going to commiserate with Ruth for a moment and just be like, fireball really is a very unreliable spell, isn't it?
do I need to roll for it, or
No,
that's
no.
the thing? I'm taking time, but
Yeah.
like, do we have time?
Is it just me, or is it just too damp? Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Okay. So you carefully light the small fire, and as you get it starting to go and starting to catch and stuff, like, you look over and realize large patches of the field have started to smoke quite heavily.
Maybe it did work after all. Maybe it just took a while for your fireballs to like take hold.
All right.
Oh, that's a relief. I'm starting to doubt my abilities at times.
All right, Ruth's gonna like walk through a little bit and like
Right,
using the.
Which way are
Using
we
the
gonna
smoke.
go? Which way are we?
Well, we want to try and scare the villagers out.
Yeah.
As you're doing this, turn around, you just watch the two guards standing at the doorway, just watching you, fascinated.
Ruth's just like. Ruth thought he was being sneaky. He just like turns around and is like, "For fuck's sake!"
You can't really
This
be
is like
sneaky when
the
you're like
guard
hurling fireballs into the fields.
And then I'm like trying to start a fire, and then just turn
I'm
around
just-
like 10 meters away. There's two town guards like leaning on their pikes, like, what are they doing?
Ruth's just gonna point into the like the dark like the smoke and stuff and be like, "There's darkspawn on the way! There's darkspawn on the way!"
So as you're explaining this, you just hear this crackling sound as you turn round. Most of the field is now quite on fire.
Listen, all right. The townsfolk will take care of themselves. They know how to deal with a fire. You run away and let it burn out. We should run away now and start setting more smoke to lead the Darkspawn away from this village if we can. If we can't, well, too bad. But at least after they've destroyed everything here, they'll probably then decide to follow the rest of the fiery and smoke and stuff. Aye?
I feel terrible about leaving so many people to die again. We've left so many people like this. I feel like Tristan should at least go in and try shouting them out. And Wraith will just hold his head in his hands and just be like, "No, we can't keep letting people die."
Agreed.
Fine. How quickly, Pup, can I make some firecrackers?
What
In my
are you
inventory,
what are you wanting them to do?
just to make a series of loud crackles and bangs. Nothing damaging, you know. Like a string of firecrackers.
Considering you've probably
got-
got gunpowder on you, yeah, relatively.
I've got gunpowder, string for fabric, and wood gubbins for crafting.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna make like, you know, half a dozen firecrackers. I'm gonna say, all right, you've however many of us there are. You'll yell about a fire, and you yell about fire and invasion and whatnot, and I'll toss these over the wall, preferably where the guards can't see it, and into the village, and hopefully that'll be enough to spook the villagers into running off.
Okay.
So we might have to go around the wall a little bit just to toss them over. Is
Okay.
there? How big is this rickety fence they built?
It's about 30 foot high because they've tried to get really, really high walls and painted with gold. But it looks very unstable.
Okay. Can I like kick one of the planks out so I can just like throw it through a hole?
Okay. Roll.
I
roll
have
roll
Grandpappy's hand axe, if that helps.
Hang on. Let me just do a roll and see what happens when you pull one of the planks out. Yeah, the whole thing collapses around you.
Okay, close enough.
The wall is collapsing around you, making a hell of a noise, as the fields are now all, like 3 or 4 of the fields are now on fire.
Okay,
Thick,
light the
thick black
use
smoke
the-
is now billowing to the sky.
light the flint and tinder. Set the firecrackers. Throw them somewhere into the village as hard as I can, and right, run.
Okay. You throw them in. You hear screaming and you see people running for their lives, running
That'll
out,
do. That's
running
close enough.
every single direction they can. They seem to be running.
That's close enough.
We should direct them down this way. And I think Wraith has stayed kind of on the road. And he's talked to the guards real quick. He's ran up to them and just be like, official lawyer business. And he's going to pull everything that he's learned so far about, like, beguiling rubes with this stuff.
Yeah.
Try and convince them of his authority over L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, I am here on Grey Warden business. You must recognize us. And try and
okay.
convince them. Yeah. Start
This way,
pulling
we should
people in
all
the
start
direction of the
gesturing
road
towards
down.
the right way to go, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
This way.
Just, like,
come
waving
this
this-
way. Let's
Yeah.
safe this way. Also, I guess because we went slightly down the road, the fires are probably on the side where the Darkspawn are going to be coming from. So
Yeah.
that should help to encourage them to run away from that.
Okay. So
Come this way.
as more and more people leave the village, and you're sort of, are you following them? Are you staying in the village till they're all left? What are you doing?
I think as long as the main crowd is like all going in that direction and they're all kind of following each other, we could probably slip away.
What about
After
the
a bit.
people in the locked in?
I mean, if I've convinced the guards Are we at the point where we could just approach the door, open it?
And kick it open, yeah.
Yeah, just
The guards have long since ran in the
Okay.
hysteria. You hear the sound of screaming and scuffling from inside.
I suspect that Codpiece Man has turned, and we should probably just leave them as they are.
I mean, he's only one darkspawn, if he is turned.
I've got an unusual idea. I think maybe I'm interpreting the situation wrong, but if L'Oreal has convinced a set of Tevinter nobles and a Canary to turn up and abide each other's presence, somehow, maybe there's a chance that he was actually brokering some diplomacy with them. And that if we get them out of there potentially and make them aware of the truth of the situation, we could get some allies.
We could. Or at least people in our corner to help us out.
So if
I say
everybody's
kick-
up,
I say-
think we
No, I
not
say kick the door down.
and
Yeah.
try and get whoever's. Well, we see what's happening and try and get people out of the room.
Okay. So you walk in. Are you gonna just lift the bars across the door out and just open the door?
Yeah.
Okay. So you lift the bar, you drop it down. It's very heavy, and as you kick the door in, the immediate smell of blood hits you.
Oof.
Inside is just a slaughter. There is just bodies lying everywhere.
Any
Oh
of
dear.
them?
Too
Any of
late.
them Darkspawn?
As you look around, there doesn't seem to be any darkspawn, and as you start,
Where's
you,
Codpiece?
you notice the canary has been shot with arrows several times in the back. You notice that the Vinter has had his face smashed by some sort of large weapon. And you notice Crown Prince L'Oreal is lying on the floor in a pool of very thick black blood.
Yeah. Hmm.
And as you
Well, at least he's dead.
and as you look around, you hear a thank goodness, and a sort of very thin gentleman that pulls himself out from one of the piles of bodies and starts dusting himself off and goes, I thought they would never be quiet.
Lord Hal, I presume?
Yes, how did you know?
Ah, I recognized your startling eyes. I must say. Lord Hal, what are your plans now?
First of all, I need my... He claps, and you just hear this sound, and he goes, for God's sake. And he walks over, and you just see him looking at a pool of blood in the ground, and he just kicks it sharply and says, get up, man! And this pool of blood just sort of puts a hand up, waves, and then slumps back down again. He goes, you can't hire servants these days. Well,
Terrible, isn't it?
this seems to have been a complete meaningless waste of my time. I'm going to return to my camp, and I'm going to continue to lead my people towards the north, I think.
That sounds very sensible. We wish you all the best.
Would I recognize him?
You would recognize him.
Okay. Would he recognize me or just to like?
He kind of keeps
Older.
glancing at you as in kind of like flickers, but it's assuming that it's just another person.
Okay.
I guess a lord sees a lot of people. He's like, someone.
I kind of want to know what happened.
Yeah. We should check you for injuries. Bite marks, such.
Oh,
Don't want you.
I'm totally fine. He sort of turns his clothes over. They are soaked in blood, but they're mostly intact. However, my servant, and he just kicks him again. He does not seem to be the most, well. Do you think is a bite that dangerous?
Well, he just gestures to L'Oreal. That is
likely what will happen.
Hmm. He just bends down, looks over this broken, bloody pile, takes out a knife and slits its throat. He
Probably
stands
the
up.
kind of thing to do.
He stands up, looks around, walks over, picks up a loot off the floor, walks back over and says, "Can I have you play a loot?"
I'm afraid not.
No.
Well, I'm down one servant.
Oof.
Oh well.
Maybe if you treated your servants better.
Now.
He just gives
He is a lord.
he gives I give you a sort of a glance of sort of, they're far beneath me. And as he walks back over, and you hear the final gurgles of this servant, he just kicks him one more time. And he goes, "I should never hire anyone, especially some musician."
Rip.
Gonna look
there he is.
closer at the body and try and make out. Do I recognize him?
You do recognize him, yes. You recognize the especially by the ring on his finger. You recognize him.
Had a ring.
Yep.
Oh dear. So I'm gonna quietly mutter to the group. It's one of our former allies down there.
Well, at least he was killed mercifully instead of being allowed to turn.
Oh. Shame that we didn't. Oh, I'd have such regrets that we didn't go in here and. This slaughter could have possibly been averted, and I'm going to look back towards the door and just realize, like, oh, we probably ought to. We should all be moving by now. The Darkspawn are probably right on top of us.
Yeah, we need to be going right
we should
about
go.
now.
At this point, you notice the Lord Howe has walked out to the courtyard and is looking around, going, "Where's my bastarding horse?"
Probably bolted.
Sort of looks
Yeah,
around.
you'll probably have to walk.
You just notice and give a kind of, "I don't walk."
Wraith's going to mount his horse, go outside and mount his horse immediately as this conversation is taking
Yeah.
place.
We're just leaving now.
Like, well, good luck with that.
He just walks over and he goes, "I'm soiled and I'm horseless. Could this day get any worse?"
Well,
Tristan kind of wants to ask about the rest of the house in Ferelden. If they survived.
He just turns to go, "What business is it of yours?
I have my reasons.
My seed has survived for generations. I don't expect it not to now."
I'm on you. I'm gonna start tugging at people's arms like, come on, we don't have time for this. Yeah, move on.
I mean, if you want him to share your horse, Tristan, you can. Feel free to, but I think the rest of us are
Okay,
going to get out of here.
I'll see if he wants to share the horse.
And he goes, "With a commoner? Could you not ride with someone else and I have that horse?"
No. Frankly, take it or leave it.
Oh, fine, but fine. He begrudgingly gets up on the same horse, and you start bolting your way out of the city, out of the village. And as you leave the very blood-soaked remnants of L'Orealville, where you look round, the fires are quite expansive. Almost like a sort of ring of fire around the village, which still glistens in its fake gold. You just see in the distance this very dark clouds just moving towards, and you begin to hear the sound of what sounds possibly like drums.
Foreboding.
They're coming.
let's hope. Let's hope we've made the right choice here, leading them to us.
Well, it's too late now, so.
Yep.
Alright. So as you speed off towards Cherno, actually, yeah, we'll do a bit more. As you arrive in Cherno, you notice a couple of people from the previous village have sort of settled here, even just for a sort of short rest, as the village is still completely burned out and ruined. There's nothing of any, value or interest here at all. But, it's a lot of the villagers trying to settle down and being like, oh, it's a lot different here. The walls are a lot more substantial. And just like kicking the walls and they're not falling over immediately, going, oh, that's what they're meant to do.
You've never built a house before.
Hope not.
At this point, Lord Howe gets off the horse and he goes, right, well, you, peasant, you've got a horse there. Let me have it. Oh, this is Jennifer. This is my father's horse and my father's father's. Well, not their horse particularly, but, it's been in the family for Give me the horse. Okay. He just walks up and takes the horse off them and goes, right, well, this has been enlightening. I'm sure you all have places to be. I know I do. That aren't here. So I will take my leave.
Doodle pip.
He sort of looks around and goes, now where am I?
Good question. Where are you headed?
I don't know. The servant dealt with that.
Ah,
That's unfortunate. Maybe you should have asked him before you killed him.
Oh, he would just bumble some nonsense. Strum that loot of his. You peasant! And he just points back to the peasant. Yeah? Can you play the lute? No. Well, you can learn, can't you?
I'm going to nod emphatically behind Lord Howe at the peasant.
I suppose. He thrusts this lute into his hand and says, come on. You take that other horse, follow me. You're not my servant. I've got a life here. I've got a wife here. Come on the horse. Go on, man. Faster. All right, sir. And this, again, peasant just runs over, grabs this other horse, runs back and fails to get on top of the horse. He goes, come on, man. You can learn how to get on a horse. Now, you need to play that lute whenever we get into interesting situations. You know the kind that require a fantastical soundtrack.
That's everybody was just going like, that's on music.
Yes. So, yes, you should learn for the moment and play it whenever you can. Right, sir? Right, come on then. Which way are we going? I don't know which way we're going, sir. Oh, come on, man. You should know better than me. Which direction do we need to head? He just frantically looks at you for any kind of advice.
I'm going to point north. What was it, Perrinvale or something?
Perrindale, yeah.
Yeah, let's point approximately in the direction of Perrindale.
Just sort of nods for and go, hey, we're going that way, sir. Yeah, I see. All right, well, lead on. And he's just like, he's leading on. Come on, man, play that lute while we're riding. Come on, faster, faster, faster. And as the two disappear off the distance, you hear this very out of tune plunking on this lute. As the two of them fade into the distance.
Well, that was something. Shall we get going trying to persuade these Darkspawn to go towards the way we want them to?
I mean, we're setting more fires.
Well, we could either wait for them to be close enough so we can see them and hope they aren't able to outrun us, or we can set fires, or set explosives, or just, I guess, potentially just slaughter a load of peasants. I don't know. You're the Grey Wardens here. You tell us. What are they attracted to?
I think you underestimate how long we've been Grey Wardens. We're still new.
Yes, we barely underwent any kind of training or on the specifics of these things. We know about as much as you do. But at least it's been working so far. But so maybe more fires on the outskirts of town on our way out, and we should continue to encourage people to follow. I appreciate that they're tired, and our horses are probably getting a little worn themselves, but we must keep moving.
I say we rest a few hours and then begin our work.
Yeah.
I have to, yeah.
All right. So what are you wanting to do after your rest? What are you wanting to do? You want to continue to create traps and fires here, or
Create traps and fires in a line towards the place where we're trying to draw these damn things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruth's gonna ask around about any movements about the Quinari and the Tevinter.
Okay. You ask around. The most you just get is the villagers are saying that there was a canary in the last place. He looked very terrifying. That's about as much as they know.
Okay. So they've not moved any closer yet.
How much further are they from us?
You're about a day's ride now from L'Orealville. But as you look to the sky in that direction, the sky is dark, very, very dark. And even with all the fires that you set along the way, the sky looks very, just very foreboding. And it's just making its way very slowly towards you.
How far away are we from the Tevinter and Quinari?
You've no real way of working that out from here.
Okay.
But you're about maybe 2 days ride from Perrindale.
Okay.
So do we want to try and turn them away from Perrindale?
We want the villagers to go to Perrindale, if at all possible. And we want the Darkspawn to follow us
Yeah.
towards the other place. I've already forgotten the name. Somewhere in the fields of Ghislaine, Shrine of Dumat, maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I think we probably should cut off the road then, so that the villagers can escape. And is there a bridge?
A bridge to where?
In the is there a river going through the village or whatever?
No, you ask around for that. They say that there's quite a large lake about half a day's ride further north.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a couple of wells, but yeah.
You could
Okay.
not.
How do we
Just
want
try
to
to
block
think.
the road? That's, I suppose, the biggest task we've got here in terms of driving them in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, we could knock a building down, but
Are there any close enough to viably put something down like that?
There's a couple of quite larger buildings in the sort of remnants of this town, in a sort of village city. Yeah. This is a quite a. It's probably a town is probably the easiest way to describe it. It's relatively big, all things considered. it's still like absolutely deserted, apart from the people who have just arrived, really.
Okay.
What's happening at Perrendale? Was that where
That's-
the Grey Wardens backup? The backup
Yeah.
Grey Wardens were going. That was it.
Yeah, and if that was like the last stop before they went to they would go to Calsharok, which is a dwarven city.
Hopefully heavily fortified.
Yes, it's one of they're more secretive. They don't really deal with outsiders all that much.
Well, hopefully
but they
they'll
are.
deal with these ones.
Yeah, they're kind of on good terms with the Grey Wardens.
I imagine they have to be if they've got roots to the underground.
So I think we should probably. I mean, we've got the explosive expert here. You probably take out the foundations, something near the foundations, and topple some buildings in the right direction. If you know enough about engineering, maybe if the rest of us try and convince the people that are resting that it's time, like we've got to start moving now.
Yeah.
Let's get on the road again.
All right.
And if in doubt, we could start scaring them into that direction.
Yeah.
All right. So you spend most of the rest of the day convincing people to leave. Eventually, most of them begrudgingly accept it and head north along this very roughly cut out path, which apparently will lead to Perrendale. What are you all doing now? You're in this deserted town. As you
Setting traps.
as you look out the main, sort of stand on the wall and look out, you can see what was a sort of very glistening thing in the distance, which was the freshly golden painted walls of L'Orealville. No longer are there.
We're in Cherno now.
It just seems, yeah, you're in Cherno now. Yeah. There seems to be a sort of almost a line of darkness just making its way towards you.
Uh-oh, here they come.
Yep. Set our traps.
Set any remaining traps and start heading them off towards Dumat, if we can.
Yep.
Or maybe it would have been better to do it at Ghislaine. It's a bit closer. No, it'll be fine. Either way, we need to start convincing them to follow us through fires, explosives, whatever.
Yep.
So where are you going now?
Towards the Shrine of Dumat.
Okay. So you're gonna go
I'm hoping.
Go cross country towards Nevada.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully come across the Tevinter and the Quinari.
Okay. So you you head out and you just start heading cross country. Are you just gonna do fires along the way?
Yeah. Just keeping an eye.
Maybe some firecrackers.
Mm.
Like
As
a handful
riding,
of them.
just pop off some fireballs from the stacks.
Yeah. That sort of thing.
Okay.
Set some traps as well. Enrage them a little.
So as
Firecrackers, like with like a tripwire fuse maybe or something, just to keep their attention going.
as you head cross country and get into, you notice a slight change in the atmosphere after a while of traveling, and it feels much more. The sort of small villages you pass in the sort of middle of nowhere, they look more like the kind of things you saw from Nevada. But again, these villages are all completely deserted now. But as you get on your second day of hard riding through these like fields and sort of back roads, you see in the distance this quite. You see in the distance like several spirals of what looks like fires you get from a large encampment. And as you
Okay. Friend or foe?
And as you get over a hill and look down, you see a gigantic Tevinter army. Goes as far as you can see.
Jesus. Alright, well, that's one of them. Where's the others?
Can we kind of make like a hard turn and like follow the line so that we're not approaching them anymore, but maybe try and, as you say,
Alongside, yeah.
head off and be like, right, the Canary might be approaching from this side geographically, so let's see if we can
Yeah.
travel along and find a line where they're hitting.
Okay. So as you continue along, eventually you come to a bunch of rivers, and as your exhausted horses are rested by the river, you just see around and you sort of look around and you just see again the sort of small spirals of bigger camps. And as you make your way around, you again just see this gigantic Canary army.
Okay, so they're like right next to each other,
Mm-hmm.
relatively speaking.
Yep.
As long as the Darkspawn keep following us, eventually they will all be fighting each other.
Yep. So the Tevinter are in the north, the Canary are in the west, is it?
East.
East. Yes, east. The Canary are in the east, and the Darkspawn are very much approaching from the south.
Never eat. Okay. And the Tevinter are what? Southeast?
The Tevinter are north.
North. Okay.
Tevinter are north and sort of spreading along
God,
that way. The Canary are the east, coming from but basically, if you're looking at the map, the Tevinter are all around Trevis. The Canary are all around Hunter's Fell and north of that. And the Darkspawn are all coming up from Gallade and Shrine of Dumat.
Okay.
Right, okay. Do we run? Or do we just leave them to it, or do we make sure that they're definitely gonna meet up?
I mean, I think we probably, as a group, know as much that like the Darkspawn, the only way they're going to be beaten is if the Archdemon goes down.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we want to stick it around.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to do kind of like a noble suicide mission of sorts and be like, right, now's the time? I feel like even maybe Wraith will pipe up and just be like, I feel now is the time for us to stand noble, and at least those of us that are Grey Wardens should abide by our oaths and see this battle out. While it may be difficult for us to stand in the middle of three forces approaching, it is at least the epicenter, and if anything, the Archdemon may show its face here.
I agree, but I also think that we should let them fight for as long as possible to decimate both sides
Or
and reduce
sides, really.
numbers. Yeah.
Sorry, Wraith, but
Reduce the numbers, and perhaps it'll create a better opportunity to take down the Archdemon.
definitely. The less Darkspawn there are, the easier the Archdemon is. Let's be honest here. The Tevinter and the Canary, not great, but at least they aren't going to raise everything to the ground. The Darkspawn will. You deal with the Darkspawn, you can worry about the others later. You can't
Very
reason
true.
with a Darkspawn, you can with a Canary or a Tevinter.
Well, on that basis, then we need to find a place to observe the battle and then be able to strike from.
As you're looking around, you're currently looking down, and as you're sort of observing over a couple of days, you see the Tevinter army move and the Canary army move. They will definitely become in contact with each other the next day, and it looks like they'll come in contact basically the area north of Hunterfell and south of Trevis, that sort of bit before the river.
North Hunterfell, South Travis, before the river.
Yeah, basically, if you look below Trevis, that sort of area before the river, that kind of area, looks like the rough place that the combat's going to be.
Right.
Okay.
And the Darkspawn are very much approaching. They are literally past the Shrine of Dumat. They are on their way to joining in. They
I
will-
really, really hope that we've drawn all of them this way, and that this isn't just like a scouting party. Because if so, we've made a big miscalculation.
You look around, the Tevinter very much have several massive fires for their huge army, the Canary have similar numbers of fires for their army, and the
Hopefully
south
that draws.
and the south, the entire like clouds for as far as you can see is just pitch black and moving closer.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
sounds
significant.
like that sounds like those gates of hell have opened.
It sounds like the gates of Isengard have been unleashed.
Taking the dwarves to Isengard. God. Taking the Wait, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Yes.
All right. Well, as you watch the Devinter and the Canary sort of line up vaguely near each other and seem to acknowledge each other for the first time, as armies do, we will wind up there and continue this next time.
And a big battle next time.
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
battle next week will indeed be the battle. We'll see where it goes and if the Archdemon does show up. So,
Can you imagine if he doesn't? Just like, this is small fry. There's an even bigger battle down in, I don't know, the Dales or something.
there's always trouble in the Dales. Oh God.
Why is it always my people, Daria? Why is it always the elves that have to suffer?
Oh, those damn elves.
Age.
Alrighty. Well, on that note, we'll win. Does anyone have anything else to wish to add before we stop?
Rip Victor.
Yep.
Yep.
Out of
Probably.
interest, if we had gone in there, could we have saved him?
Yep.
Or was he? Okay. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Say he was scripted to die. It was in the script. I read the script. It says, look, it says right here. Look. Overfill dies a very painful death.
I will say that you would know more what's going on if you'd gone into the meeting.
Okay.
Probably yes.
Alrighty.
Quite
Well,
possibly.
as ever, we will just quickly do the end things, which is that you can get money off dndice.co.uk and gmhammer.com with Penance RPG at your checkout. 10% off dndice, 20% off gmhammer. Please use those codes, support us, support them, and get yourself some more shiny things to do that. And Mr. Eden, are you doing any streams anytime soon?
Probably a bit of Guitar Hero, maybe in the week, if not on Saturday.
Alright, and that's over at Monkey Magic Eden. We are not going to wait out because there's not that many people watching, so we're just going to wind up there. But yes, thank you all very much. We'll catch you all next week for what might very well be the finale. So yes, until next time,
Exciting.
you all take care. Have a great rest of your week. See you next time. Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.